Good day, dear art lover. Today I want to share with you the watercolor painting process. This is a monochrome watercolor portrait I created in a retro style. When I painted this, I was aiming to capture that timeless elegance that feels both nostalgic and modern. Not exact, with unfinished edges with all water spread effect. Look closely at her gazette here as a subtle strength, but also softness that draws you in. Her eyes, painted with delicate layers of gray, are the focal point. I used fine brush strokes to create depth and highlight her expression, keeping the tones light but meaningful. Notice her lips, full and slightly parted, adding a touch of allure. The curves of her face are softly sculpted with gradients of black and gray, while her hat frames her face beautifully, giving off that classic, almost cinematic vibe. The scarf she's wearing, it's loose and flowing, almost like it's caught in a gentle breeze. I used expressive, sweeping strokes to give it a sense of movement and to contrast with the stillness of her gaze. Everything here is about balance is soft and bold, light and shadow, old and new. For me, painting in black and white is like writing poetry. It's not about showing everything, but saying enough to let the viewer imagine the rest. This portrait is part of my journey as an artist to explore beauty in simplicity, using minimal color but maximum emotion. Retro art has this magical way of taking us back in time while feeling fresh and relevant in the present. It's a celebration of nostalgia. Look back at the aesthetics of bygone decades, reinterpreted to fit modern tastes. When it comes to monochrome portraits like this one, the retro style isn't just about the subject or composition. It's about evoking the elegance and sophistication of the past while leaving space for the viewer's imagination to fill in the details. In the case of this portrait, you can immediately sense its connection to old Hollywood glamour. The wide-brimmed hat, the soft waves in her hair, and the delicate yet bold makeup recall icons from the 1920s through the 1950s. Think Audrey Hepburn, Grace Kelly, or Lauren Bacall women who represented both strength and grace. Monochrome art was a staple of photography and film during these eras, and recreating it with watercolor adds a modern touch to an old classic. Retro art, however, isn't just about aesthetics. It's also about emotion. Monochrome, in particular, strips away the distraction of color and focuses entirely on mood, contrast, and texture. This approach highlights facial expressions, enhances the interplay of light and shadow, and draws the viewer's attention to the subject's essence rather than the surface. Now, I want to share a quick and simple way to frame your art using a black paper mat. This technique is affordable and gives your work a clean, professional look. First, you'll need a sheet of black cardstock or heavyweight paper larger than your painting, a ruler, a cutting mat, or any protective surface, a craft knife or scissors, double-sided tape, or glue. Here is what to do. Measure your art. Start by measuring your painting. Add at least an inch or two to each side, depending on how wide you want the mat to be. Mark the frame. On the back of your black paper, use a ruler to outline a rectangle that matches the inner opening for your painting. This will be the window of your mat. Be precise. It should fit snugly around the edges of your art. Cut the window. Place your paper on the cutting mat and carefully cut out the rectangle using a craft knife or scissors. Try to keep the edges clean and straight. Attach the painting. Center your painting behind the window. Use double-sided tape or glue along the edges to secure it. Be gentle to avoid wrinkling your art. Add a backing. For extra support, attach another piece of black paper or cardboard to the back. This will keep everything sturdy. Display. That's it. You now have a sleek, modern matte frame ready to hang or display on a stand. This DIY frame pairs beautifully with monochrome art like this portrait, emphasizing the contrast and drawing attention to the details. Whether it's displayed in a modern apartment, a classic home, or a commercial space, this monochrome watercolor portrait brings a unique blend of nostalgia, artistry, and sophistication that never goes out of style. Thank you for your attention, join, and enjoy. Welcome to my next video.